I think we should.
No, it says regular on each page.
Updated. Good. I'm here. Take that for a moment. Let's go back to Miss Mayor. I increased the size of the document.
A lot of space.
Gotta read it, make it bigger so I can read it. Exactly. No, I just thought that, so I don't have to wear my glasses, like.
Really good.
You got tomato juice on mine.
Do you eat Bloody Marys this morning?
I processed 40 pounds of tomatoes today.
Commercial business, so I'm
I'm
gonna
sloppy when I do that.
welcome everybody to the Thursday, September 12th, 2024 special meeting of the Clear Lake City Council. Madam Clerk, can you do roll?
Councilmember Slotin,
Here.
Councilmember Purdock,
Here.
Councilmember Kramer,
Here.
Vice Mayor Overton,
Here.
and Mayor Clappy.
Here. Moving on to item 1, consideration of road closure of Gulf Avenue during the local assistance center hours. Mr. Flores.
I refer this to Administrative Services Director Swanson.
Honorable Mayor and council members, as you may be aware, we will be holding a local assistance center at the youth center on Gulf Avenue next week during the hours of 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in order to facilitate traffic and foot traffic. We're asking the council to authorize the closure of Gulf Avenue between Lakeshore Drive and Ballpark. I have a map, which I can pull up.
I think we know where it is.
Okay,
Okay, Madam Clerk. Any
okay,
questions from council?
Nope.
hold on.
I'll now open up the public comment. Seeing none in the chamber, Madam Clerk, any comments in Zoom?
There are no comments on Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Second.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-38 and read by title only, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Clear Lake authorizing temporary closure of Gulf Avenue and Lakeshore Drive and Ballpark Road for the purpose of the Boyles Fire Local Assistance Center.
I second that.
I have a motion from Councilmember Kramer, a second from Councilmember Slutin. Please vote in the form.
Aye.
Aye.
Portal
is not coming. I went out, I went back in.
My portal came up. I have no portal blockage.
In the best interest of our city clerk, please get it together.
There's no one on the Zoom.
Aye.
Are we? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Moving on to item 2, ratification of the declaration of local emergency by the Director of Emergency Services and request to the Governor to proclaim a state of emergency due to the Boyles Fire. Mr. Flores.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. So as you know, Sunday afternoon, short before 2 p.m., Boyles Fire broke out, consuming ultimately approximately 81 acres. Throughout that period, there were 4,000 evacuees and over 9,000 folks within the city got power. Ultimately, we were able to repopulate all residences at 7 p.m. last evening. Emergency shelter was closed down at 7 a.m. this morning. And then we're expecting actually, we got an update from, there's a small area to the east of the community college and Obsidian Middle School that's still under evacuation order. At some point this afternoon, we're expecting that to be released as well, a little bit earlier than initially. Initial estimates from the fire department will maybe tomorrow, but it looks like they'll be released this afternoon. Sort of final count on numbers: 25 completely destroyed dwellings, 3 damaged dwellings, 32 destroyed accessory buildings, 4 damaged accessory buildings, total of 64 structures damaged or destroyed, 79 vehicles destroyed. Estimated public and private damages with our initial damage estimate that was submitted to CalGas last night is approximately $15 million. Current priorities, providing short-term housing for those with damaged or destroyed homes. We have forwarded $200,000 to North Coast Opportunities, who handle case management for short-term housing for us under the cash fire. As of a few minutes ago, they've served over 20 people since midday yesterday and up to this point today, providing food boxes for those that have damaged or destroyed homes. The next priority that we're working is getting hazardous waste cleanup completed on the lots that were have damaged homes. That's the next thing that really needs to happen before folks have ultimately access back to the property. So that task has been approved by CalOES. We're just waiting on the scheduling date from the Department of Toxic Substances Control. We're told it is not going to happen this week at this point, but hopefully early next week that will happen. So the message we're going to be stressing is, well, you do have access to your property. If your home has been destroyed, there's fire debris on the property. You should not be accessing or sifting through that debris until the household hazardous waste cleanup has been completed. We're not expecting any cost to homeowners for that phase 1 cleanup. I mentioned lifting the final evacuation zone later today, and Ms. Swanson mentioned the local assistance center that we set up next week. I will let her provide a little bit more details of council on that. It's really important that folks find the time that works for them to utilize the resources that we at the youth center at that time. This is really all agencies coming together in one spot where there's the DMV, and I'll let Ms. Swanson talk about that. So the final thing I want to mention, unless there's any questions, is just a big thank you to our staff. We have a pretty small staff, and unfortunately we have some experience in this type of thing, but I've been extraordinarily proud of the response and the commitment to the community that our staff have shown through this event. Of course, big thank you to the many fire departments that responded to support us and various mutual aid partners, both public safety, police, helping out, Public Works, City of Lakewood, and City of Ukiah sent staff at our request to help with roadblocks and various things. Community development staff, primarily from the county, that came and helped with damage assessment. And then I wanted to specifically point out the County Office of Emergency Services and the Sheriff's Office, the Emergency Services Manager. While they are taking the lead on this because this incident has been entirely within the city, she has been extraordinarily helpful to me in our response. So with that, I'll address any questions you have and then turn over to Ms. Swanson to give you a little bit more details on the LACNIC.
Will the total number of buildings which exceeds 50 qualify as for the FEMA? No.
It's not going to qualify on its own. What we can expect is if they will include it in the existing disaster declaration.
Okay.
Any questions from council? Councilman Brennan?
I know that since we do have some experience in this, when there are other major wildland fires within the region, sometimes they would qualify that by combining everything, consolidating those. Is there any talk or Is that an avenue we could pursue?
That is the primary topic, yes, and we've shared with all of our elected representatives that we would like to see that happen. We encourage all of you to do so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll open up to public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. I will close public comment. Please sit down. Director Swanson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. We will be holding the local assistance center at the youth center on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. On those days, we have commitments from many county departments, such as the assessor recorder, IHSS, Department of Social Services, CalFresh, Public Services will also be there. Let's see who else we've got from the county. I believe environmental health will be there. So as for state agencies, we've got Cal OES coming. DMV will be coming, and those are the two state agencies that I have firm commitments from. Other agencies or community-based organizations that will join us will be Adventist Health will be there. The Red Cross obviously will be there. The California Southern Baptist Disaster Response will be there. They will bring personal property recovery and crisis chaplains. Various agencies such as Church of the Brethren, Episcopal Disaster Response with gift cards. Several of those types of agencies will be bringing gift cards and actual supplies for affected families. Another agency, which is going to be a big help, is going to be Hope City. They, in experience with past LACs, Hope City has developed a software specifically designed around LACs and registering affected families. It is a program, a web-based program where all of the agencies who participate in the LAC will be able to see the same information. Hope City will register an affected family. They will enter their information into this software. And then all of us within the LAC will be able to see this information in real time. And this will help affected families so that they don't have to tell their story at every physical table that they're visiting and, re-traumatize them that way. So that we can all have the information already and say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I see you're here. Here's what we can do for you at our table. In addition to that, we will also have some crisis companion dogs to help ease some stress. We also believe we will have more than one chaplain there. Legal services, we're partnering with NCO, as City Manager Flora said, they'll be there to help, possibly the Salvation Army, just a plethora of agencies there for people.
Larka will be there too.
Thank you.
Councilmember Pearl.
So yeah, thank you very much for that update. I was contacted by one of our local mobile home vendors, manufactured home vendors, and as you're describing this, I'm wondering would there be a place for them?
We have invited HCD
Okay.
because many of the homes affected were mobile homes. I think that we can take their information and perhaps provide it, but this particular event is geared towards nonprofit agencies.
Gotcha.
I did have some other feedback from
Yeah, they were
other
wanting to
businesses.
provide reduced rates and things and offer what they could do to help.
Absolutely understood, and we can put them in contact.
Also, it's the next question, any of our building department folks there that might be able to help,
Yes,
kind
we
of
will.
walk them through that process?
Our staff will be there. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that.
Thank you.
I would point out, that's a bit down the road potentially at this point as far as rebuilding. I mean, our hope is that this will be included in the state declaration, and then the state would perform the cleanup. If that doesn't happen, then, the cleanup is going to fall on the property owners to complete, which is, not really a cheap proposition, but.
Right.
I did also want to point out, related to the state declaration, so like DMV fees and other state fees for like getting a new ID or re-registering your vehicle or whatever you have to do, all that stuff. If there is a state declaration, those fees will be waived, as I understand, because that has not happened yet. That won't be the case at this point. And they will have forms they can fill out to get reduced fees, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. And we're going to try to set expectations with the folks there that at this point, there may be some costs associated with some of these things.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you. So during this process, of course, I've gotten a lot of calls with people wanting to donate. Of course, they do. The community's really good about that. I've personally asked them to wait. Are we able to get what the needs are as far as clothing and sizes and stuff? We don't need names of people, but because that's pretty much what I've told people. Look, we can't just take on a bunch of stuff. We need to find out their needs and their sizes and stuff like that. So is that going to be information that will be out to the public, or that at least we can get to kind of funnel to the correct people and the sizes, so that we're not taking on a bunch of stuff we don't need or stuff that they don't need? I mean, people are like, oh, I got furniture. Well, they have no place. It's not going to do any good, let's wait. So is that something that's going to be able to be out there to the public, or how are we going to do that, I guess?
So we have had many people being generous and calling to find out that
I know that
information.
directed them to you.
Absolutely. We are partnering with NCO, and NCO is doing the case management. They will have all of the information about the individuals, families who have lost or have need. So at this point, I'm taking information and I'm passing that on to NCO so that they can make sure that the families get what they need.
Because I didn't want to start like all these lists going like that's happened in the past. So I basically have directed everybody to you.
Perfect.
Thank them very much. I've told some of them, please just hold on to your items. Don't try to drop them off at our place, because I just, we can't handle it. So we're trying to clean it up, not take more.
It becomes a very difficult process to manage
It's out of
items. That's why it's much easier to donate funds if you can have one of the local organizations like Clark or the Lake County Community Foundation, provide gift cards or something, so you don't have to track all of that.
And do you have any idea where these people are even going to be housed at? I mean, we have no.
Well, I mean, there's a variety. I mean,
hotels.
Well, there's a variety of things. We'll get a report back at some point on where things are going, but there's everything. There certainly will be people in hotels. That's exclusively what happened with the cash fire, really. There are some vacancies in other sort of affordable housing projects, and they are afforded priority if there's a vacancy on the priority list and if one opens up. And then some folks even, have a rental house that's currently vacant. They've offered that as a potential. So that's something the NCO would be betting on that. So if there's any additional resources such as that, it should be referred to.
So if somebody contacts us and says, they have a house taken right now,
We refer them, tell them to contact NCO, Justin Gaddy, and they'll vet the thing, make sure that it's something that they would be comfortable putting someone in and going from there.
Because I'm like, I don't know where we're going to put these people. We've lost so many homes in the last 9 years that they're not building as fast as what they're going down.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, we have a list of some of the folks with damaged or destroyed homes. We still haven't made contact with all of them. Hopefully that happens very soon, but this is a little different situation than cash fire, which is primarily retirees all on almost exclusively one property. That the property owner wasn't for a variety of reasons, has been incentivized to rebuild and continue with that project. This is regular working class families in this area, and some of them have other jobs where their employer is providing things for them, and it's just a little bit different situation with the cash fire was. But there were very few folks that actually had damaged or destroyed homes that were staying in the shelter this time, which is a little bit different. There were general evacuees, but most of those folks either had the means or other connections to have accommodations during that period. So we'll keep you updated on what this looks like.
Thank you.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yeah, I had a follow-up to my initial question, and that was in previous events like this, we had provided a window recognizing that some of the homes were built in the 70s, 80s, and building codes were different then. That window of time when they could rebuild what they lost. Is that going to be a possibility in this event, or is it something we need to agendize?
I don't know that we need specific direction on that yet. We did talk about that in our morning briefing. I believe it is actually already in the municipal code that when there's a declared disaster, we provide a certain amount of time, but we will be reviewing that as we get closer to rebuilding. And I think we have a pretty good understanding of council's desire to accommodate those type of things, but we need additional direction on that. If you have any concerns, happy to bring back to the council meeting and talk through anything needed there.
And I do have a follow-up, but it isn't on this part. When we get to it, site safety and evacuation of people, I had some concerns about how that went down.
Thank you. Councilmember Kramer.
Yes, just follow up to Councilwoman. LARCA is accepting donations now on our website or by mail. We have a pretty good bank account to start things off, but so far I think we've gotten in $7,000 or $8,000, but we've got better than 50 in the account already. So we can handle a lot of these. We're going to talk tonight about how we will administer, but all of our awards, of course, will be in the form of checks and money. And it'll depend on, again, our committee will kind of set the ground rules for it, but if you have any suggestions on the emphasis on that, I'd be glad to hear them from everybody. And then speaking of clothing, World Vision, I spoke with Don Smith today, and he's gearing that up to hopefully get some things in from Costco, which is the supplier of World Vision, which is Russ was the beginning, the starter of that, so he knows maybe fill in a little more. But Don did say that hopefully getting that up and running in the next couple of weeks, so they'll have items for people. Hopefully you'll get items that can be used for this type of situation. That's what
All right, thank you, Council. Any other questions? Open up to public comment, and here in the chamber has a question. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, any comments on Zoom?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
I'll bring it back to Council. Councilmember Murdoch.
No, let's go ahead and finish this.
Then I'll take a motion.
I'll move that we adopt resolution 2024-58, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Clear Lake ratifying the existence of a local emergency as proclaimed by the Director of Emergency Services and requesting the governor to proclaim a state of emergency for the City of Clear Lake due to the Boyles Fire, with one correction on paragraph 3, should be September 8, 2024.
I'll second.
A motion from Councilmember Slutin, a second from Vice Mayor Overton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Votes unanimous.
Okay, I'd like to add one more thing I wanted to try out, not having anything to do with this, but does for the three of you. The forum scheduled for Monday night, the 16th, Elizabeth Larson contacted me today. She has not been able to reach all of it, or apparently none of the three of you responded to her call. And, okay, at any rate, the two that did respond to her, Mr. Freeman and Ms. Usman, said that they hadn't been made aware of it. I know that Mr. Freeman had heard it several times. But at any rate, so we have postponed it until September 30th. Or she is at her request, and it'll, again, it'll be here on September
I
30th.
mean, I don't know, I've never gotten an email or call, you had to mention it to me.
Yeah,
It's not out there very well.
I didn't want to argue with her.
Yeah, it needs to be notified by
But
email.
I obviously did not want to be, I couldn't be involved in it, so I asked her to sponsor it and moderate it. I assumed she'd make those calls, but she didn't.
Well, yeah, I mentioned it to me, I wasn't even ahead on my calendar, so.
September 30th.
I would want, because that's the only one who's here.
Doesn't mean you win, it just means you win. Debate is important.
Thank you, Councilmember Kramer.
You're welcome. No.
Councilmember Purdock.
So I didn't see an item on here for future agenda items, but I would like to request the council support in the future agenda item with regard to emergency situations wherein we have press or members claiming to be members of the press coming into those emergency areas and causing more havoc than help. I know from relationships with other people who are associated with the press, they would go in, they would stay out of the way, they understood where emergency vehicles were traveling, and they would make sure their vehicles didn't encumber or block them, become a hazard. But in this event, I was seeing people who are claiming press status in the fire area during the emergency, during the evacuation, and parking their vehicles haphazardly, actually blocking roadways. One actually caught fire and burned. It looked as though, and I don't know, and I can't substantiate this, that a dozer had to move that vehicle off of 18th, causing damage to our roadway. Also a concern. And I know that in the past,
Let's not talk too much about it.
well, but I just want to give some background, and I'm concerned that this actually inhibited people trying to get out of the fire area.
I mean, I agree that that's.
So, but I got that, Joyce, and again, not asking for any action other than to make it on the agenda. But anything else that might come to the council in regard to those emergency type incidents that we might want to consider action on for our police department to try to prohibit people from coming in there and causing a problem. Looky-loos.
Thank you, Councilmember Purdock. Sounds like
I think so.
Overton, Vice Mayor Overton, I would also agree. I'd like to see that on the agenda, so we will add that to a future agenda.
Thank you.
Any other comments from council?
Do you want me to work with you on that?
We can, I mean, I'm not clear what policy the council could adopt to address an issue like that.
Well, I think it could be talked about like how.
Let's think of a
they-
local ordinance.
How do they prove that they're press, number one,
Right.
and stuff like that, I think is probably what we want discussion from.
Identifying credentials,
Where do they park?
Maybe a list of these are the rules.
something like that.
Access,
That's what I
where
was
they park, stuff like that, so.
All right, any other comments, future agenda items,
What
reports?
did, we could just put that in the traffic safety committee.
We'll let Councilmember Purdock and City
I'll try
Manager
to do
Flora move forward with what they feel the best next step is, and then if it comes back in, if it comes back to the committee, we'll take it up then. All right, that is all we have. We are now adjourned. Thank you all.